The gentle hills of Shippensburg, Pennsylvania attract gentle people. So says longtime resident Virginia Allman.
I love my neighborhood because, for the most part, I have really awesome neighbors that I absolutely love.
Unfortunately, one woman living next door is the exception.
We are currently having a problem with a neighbor that lives to the right of our house.
Virginia claims what once started as a solid relationship has soured over time.
We would exchange gifts at Christmas, and over the course of about the last 4 years, that's all changed.
And one particular incident captured on Virginia's security camera puts her on alert.
She was pouring ashes on our property at one point. We don't know from where. We don't know if they were hot. I don't think she was thinking it out when she put the ashes on her house.
Thankfully, what Virginia claims to be ashes don't result in property damage, and she passes it off as a one-time thing. But several months later, Virginia's security cameras capture her neighbor spouting curious claims.
I don't want to go to jail because of you.
She says a lot of things that make absolutely no sense. I mean, she'll say, I'm not going to jail because of you.
Virginia says the situation reaches a head one afternoon while the neighbor is doing some yard work.
All of you from little up.
This neighbor was saying all these accusations.
I'm kidding you guys. You don't know how to treat people.
And I just could not take it anymore.
Virginia goes outside and claims she's immediately met with nastiness.
Step the around. You stay off my property.
She came at me with a rake, and I honestly thought she might just whack me with it.
Get away from me, crazy. I'll go to hell.
You are nasty. Nobody does anything to you, and all you do is start your crap. I am home. I'm on my property.
You're not welcome here at home.
You're not welcome here.
Please.
Good. Go call them.
A short time later, the police arrive and listen to Virginia's complaint.
She had the rake on the fence, just screaming and yelling at us.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to her. You're under the understanding that your property goes straight to the edge of the concrete here.
For several minutes, the officers explain to the neighbor where she can and can't be.
This is the post right here. That's the post.
That's their property.
Yes.
If you pass that, you'll be trespassing. Stop.
They tried to talk to her, but there just was no reasoning with her.
The fact that there is multiple grown adults out here marking about 6 inches is stupid. Okay, so we're not gonna go past the bush, okay?
If you pass the bushes, we'll be forced to arrest you, and I don't want to have to do that at your age, okay?
According to Virginia, the police visit ends without any further incident, and she has barely talked to her neighbor since.
I don't come in physical contact with her. I just keep an eye out in case any damage to our property would be done, and that's our concern.
We do nothing to you.
Despite the current state of affairs, Virginia is still hopeful for a return to the way things were.
I would absolutely love for our relationship to be rebuilt and for us to be friends again.
I'll go to hell.
Tonight in Tucson, this couple is in their garage conducting a routine oil change on their van when an unexpected neighbor makes her way out of the darkness.
Why do you keep doing this? You're polluting the air. We can breathe it all in.
After apparently smelling their oil change, the neighbor storms out of her home and scolds the couple for working on their car.
We can breathe it all in. Man, take you to a real mechanic. Because you're...
A few minutes later, the neighbor steps back out of her house, and the man working on his van starts recording their interaction on his cell phone.
You know what? You have no respect. The fumes that are coming off these vehicles are contaminating our dog. I've had enough of you. I know how manipulative you are. You need to have a conscience because I'm going to report you to your landlord. And take that to the YouTube and make some sense of yourself.
The man recording heeds his neighbor's advice, posting the video on social media. He later files a harassment claim against her, which is eventually resolved, and they haven't gotten in any arguments since. Which means the couple can continue to work on their cars in peace, so long as they're not waking the neighbors with any more smells.
You need to have a conscience because I'm going to report you to your landlord.
In Sherwood, Oregon, a small town southwest of Portland, A man and his girlfriend find themselves in the crosshairs of a couple next door in their apartment complex.
Sit there with your door open.
We can have our door open.
It's our house.
The homeowners claim the couple are upset that they leave their front door open, seemingly taking offense to being able to see inside their apartment.
Close your door, scumbags. Bring it, buddy. Get the out of here.
According to the homeowners, the issues start almost immediately after the neighbors move in. The couple starts complaining that the homeowner's dog barks every time they walk by.
Shut your dog up.
Frustrated by the interactions, the relationship gets worse.
You got an issue with me? Well, I think you're a douchebag, yeah. I gotcha.
One evening, while the woman next door is putting up Halloween decorations, the homeowners antagonize her through their doorbell camera.
Yeah, it's each way about that.
When the neighbor's husband comes home, he's told of the homeowner's actions, which sets him off.
He's over here laughing.
Yeah.
As the neighbors continue at a high volume, another neighbor, looking to quiet the situation, steps out of his home and directly into the line of verbal fire.
I know you guys got. Shut your mouth. Don't tell me to shut my. Yeah, I'm telling you to shut your mouth.
You stay out of touch.
You.
And then, yet another neighbor shows up to see what the ruckus is all about.
Yeah, I tell you, we're not okay. You get harassed by your friend every day.
Even as they try to calm the neighbors down,
Just go inside.
No! You go inside. I'm sick of this.
the police are called and they investigate the commotion. The neighbors explain their reasoning for the loud outburst, believing the homeowners are the ones antagonizing them.
I gotta listen to his now every day.
Nobody has done anything. So that is why we are in the state we are in.
Yeah, you go right ahead. Giant listen.
The neighbors voice their anger towards the police, who try to keep the peace, while warning them of their own behavior.
If you want to go to jail, you talk. Otherwise, you get the citation.
Citation.
While it's not known if any tickets are written, thankfully for the homeowners, the neighbors move out soon after, leaving behind a quieter and more peaceful apartment complex.
Bring it, buddy. Get the out of here.
Mobile home parks are pleasant and affordable places for many folks to live. But due to the close proximity of the homes and vehicles, nosy neighbors can quickly become a park inconvenience.
You are such a.
Here I am in Mesa, Arizona. After witnessing a late-night altercation between his neighbors, a resident challenges one of them the next morning about his motives.
What are you going to do to me? I'm not going to do nothing to you.
Are you going to call the cops on me and tell the cops that I attacked the tow truck driver?
I will call the cops on you.
Well, you called the cops on her and she wasn't breaking the law. So
Who?
the lady over here that's getting her Cadillac towed, you called the cops and you said she was hitting the tow truck driver. Why'd you do that?
According to the man behind the camera, the neighbor called the cops on a female resident because he felt she was being too loud in the middle of the night. And when pressed for an explanation, the neighbor becomes agitated and defiant.
I didn't say she was hitting nobody.
I watched you do it.
You're a damn liar. I talked to my cops in my front yard. You were nowhere near.
You filmed the whole thing and I stood out in my front yard and I watched you film the whole thing and then I watched you call the cops on her.
I did call the cops on her.
Yeah, you did. Now you admitted to it.
3:30 in the morning yelling.
Now you admitted to it.
Breaking the law.
That's good, because you're the one that told the cops that she was hitting them.
The neighbor then tries to flip the script and confront the man recording with a separate issue altogether: the placement of his trailer.
So I know where the property line is.
Okay.
Okay, brother? Property lines go with water spigots.
Call the police then.
No, I'm not. I'm going to call the police because it's not my business.
You're making it your business.
Involved by saying, that old man over there
Is a snitch, and you admitted you're a snitch. Yeah.
She's out there yelling at 3:30 in the morning, and that is breaking the law.
Well, she's on her own property, and she's yelling at somebody that's on her property.
If I can hear it from my house,
Yeah.
it is breaking the law. I'm going to go to the police and
Go
I'm going
to the police. Go to the police.
And if it don't say that I accused her of hitting him,
Okay.
I'm suing the out of you.
You can
brother.
do whatever you want. What financial damages did you just suffer?
It's not financial debt.
You're going to sue for hurt feelings?
What?
Okay, sue for hurt feelings. It doesn't work that way.
While it's not known if the neighbor follows through on his legal threats, it's unlikely that these two will be enjoying the proximity of each other's presence anytime soon.
You are such a
Drama queen, you big baby.
Situated on Lake Hudson in northeastern Oklahoma, Salina is a quiet and peaceful town surrounded by natural beauty. It's the perfect place for Kevin and Rachel Pritchett to raise their 2 children.
We have a farm and it sits on 20 acres.
The best thing about living where we live is it's very quiet. Our neighbors are super nice, but everybody stays to themselves.
With so much space and so many farm animals to look after, the family has 3 guard dogs to help deter unwanted visitors.
If anyone besides our family comes onto our property, they're automatically on high alert, barking and growling.
Late one evening, as the family is relaxing, the dogs start doing just that. A man they've never seen before starts frantically knocking on their back door.
I started yelling, "What are you doing? Get out of our house."
I was already on the phone with 911 because I didn't know what was going on.
Instinctively, Kevin grabs a firearm for protection, and as soon as the man sees it, he takes off running.
I immediately just assumed he was out to harm me and my family.
We really had no idea what was to come next.
The man hops a fence, landing in a pasture that's guarded by one of the dogs.
He's obviously trying to find an exit off of our property.
And although they can't see the man, Kevin and Rachel hear him struggling.
The dogs were barking at him, so we kind of had a general idea of where he was.
Yes, he's under the tractor. I hear something.
Finally, the police arrive, and Kevin points out the man's hiding spot.
Hey, sheriff's office!
We did have a sense of relief after the officer had him in handcuffs.
Running from the law? Yeah, I'm strung out, man. I'm strung out bad.
The stranger, who is from the area, is ultimately arrested, but the exact charges against him are unknown. The video of the incident is posted online, where it's viewed over 800,000 times, with many people praising the Pritchett's handling of the situation and the help of their 4-legged friends.
Our dogs are the true heroes here because he just kind of gave up and laid down in our yard and waited for the police to come because he knew if the guard dogs got to him, it wouldn't be good.
You guys did such a good job.
The town of Weiser in western Idaho is a small community, just the way resident Ariel Graham likes it.
This area is comprised mostly of farmers.
Ariel and her family enjoy the rural atmosphere.
We live on just a little bit over 1 acre, and it is country living through and through.
And with country living comes country neighbors.
Good morning.
Just like the guy living next door to Ariel.
My first impression of my neighbors was that they were nice. We saw each other every day.
But Ariel's cordial relationship with her neighbor quickly sours, all starting with a piece of paper.
We received our survey in the mail, and we noticed that this easement was on our land. An easement is a piece of land that 2 or more parties use to access another piece of land.
But when Ariel emails her neighbors regarding this easement development, she claims the neighbors suddenly go silent.
Their initial response was nothing. They completely ignored me.
And then Ariel believes the neighbor begins taking pictures of her property. She claims to see him at night, where it looks like he's taking flash pictures of her land. Ariel has seen enough.
I was ready to protect my family, and I decided to confront him.
Ariel gets her chance a few days later when she claims to see her neighbor recording again near her property.
Why are you filming us walking out of our front door? You don't need to document us on our property.
Ariel makes mention of his alleged previous visit.
You were recording my house at night.
No, I wasn't.
We caught you on camera. We were
good.
upstairs.
Well, that's just great because I'm just filming all the stuff that you guys are doing.
What are we doing? Oh, living on our property?
Documenting you blocking my easement.
You don't need to film us on our land.
I can do whatever I want.
That trailer,
I can do
that's
whatever.
on our land.
That's on my easement.
It doesn't take long for the conversation to turn into a property dispute.
This is an easement.
This is our driveway.
This is
and
an
the shipping
easement.
container is our driveway.
The driveway comes to the line
No,
of
it
this
doesn't.
house. Yes,
No,
it does.
this is
you
my
want me to show
driveway.
you?
No.
I have it on the
You're
doc.
a stalker.
You're a
That's
freak.
why no one, the
You're a
sheriff
freak.
is
Why
not
would you
making us
stalk
move
me?
it.
The sheriff made a mistake.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
they don't
did.
make mistakes.
But the topic of easement soon turns into a conversation on alleged harassment.
Stop filming us.
No.
You're scary.
No, too bad.
Okay,
So sad.
this is for the judge. When we
Okay,
file
good.
a restraining order on you
Oh,
for
good.
stalking us.
I'm not doing anything.
The neighbor claims to be documenting his land, but this leaves Ariel feeling upset.
You literally are in front of our home.
Yeah.
Our only safe space.
Yeah.
Every single day.
I'm be doing it
How would
every
you-
single day.
I was shaking. You need to stop.
No.
Why?
I'm not gonna stop
Why?
being myself.
I've never encountered something like this before.
You started this,
No,
lady.
you have
Lady,
gotten
you
enough
started
footage.
this.
No,
Oh.
your lawyer can respond to ours.
Oh.
I am done asking you to leave
I
our
don't
family
care.
alone.
I don't care what
Leave
you
us
want.
alone. Okay, you won't leave us alone?
I'm not gonna do anything
You're
different.
not gonna. Okay, you're not gonna
I'm
stop filming us.
documenting
No,
you people.
But the neighbor claims he has a right to record.
you are
That's all.
stalking us every day.
You're getting angry.
Yes,
Why?
because you're stalking my
I'm not
family.
stalking
Yes,
you.
you are. At this point, I had had enough. You think it's funny?
I think
you're
it's
a
hilarious.
sick person.
You're psycho.
Ariel decides to leave, and the argument ends. But Ariel goes to the police and gets a court order against her neighbor.
Thankfully, the protection order keeps him from being within 500 feet of our home.
But Ariel is uncertain about the future.
We are hopeful that eventually they will not be allowed to come through anymore and that we can move on with our lives. Stop filming us.
No.
You're scary.
No, too bad.